As it turned out, of course, the Tiger reached the battlefield well before the Panzer, which the Panzer was a totally new concept and took longer in the end.
With impenetrable armor, a gun that shattered anything in its path, and a reputation forged in combat and propaganda, the Tiger I became the ultimate symbol of Nazi engineering. But was it truly the invincible war machine history remembers, or did its flaws undermine its dominance? Dive into the incredible story of the Tiger I, its triumphs, failures, and the legacy of the legendary Tiger 131. The Tiger I wasn't just a tank. It was a behemoth that rolled onto the battlefield like a juggernaut, inspiring equal parts awe and terror. Its design was a testament to German engineering, boasting a thick 100mm frontal armor that was virtually impenetrable by Allied tanks of the time. Add to that its devastating 88mm gun, a weapon so powerful it could punch through 100mm of armor from a kilometer away, and you had a machine that seemed invincible. The first time Allied tank crews encountered the Tiger I in 1942, it wasn't just an enemy, it was a nightmare. The term Tiger Terror wasn't coined lightly. Many Allied soldiers reportedly panicked at the mere mention of encountering one. The Tiger wasn't just a tank, it was a propaganda tool for the Nazis. Hitler's obsession with size and strength was perfectly embodied in its massive frame, measuring over 10 feet tall and weighing 57 tons. It dwarfed most Allied tanks, creating an image of unstoppable German superiority. Nazi newsreels frequently showcased this colossal machine, its tracks churning through mud, its gun blazing, and its crew seemingly impervious to enemy fire. These images were crafted to instill fear in Allied troops and boost morale on the home front. But the psychological warfare didn't end there. Stories of Tigers smashing entire tank formations or shrugging off multiple hits spread like wildfire among Allied ranks. The mere rumor of a Tiger lurking nearby was often enough to delay advances or provoke cautious retreats. The tank's reputation far exceeded the reality of its presence on the battlefield after all. Less than 1,400 were ever built, but its effect on the minds of soldiers was immeasurable. In this way, the Tiger I became as much a weapon of fear as it was a weapon of war, proving that sometimes perception can be as powerful as reality. Despite its fearsome reputation, the Tiger I was far from perfect. In fact, it might be the ultimate example of a weapon that was too ambitious for its own good. The tank's advanced design came with a hefty price tag, both figuratively and literally. Each Tiger cost about 250,000 Reichsmarks to build, roughly the equivalent of 2 Panzer IV tanks. This economic inefficiency was compounded by its mechanical complexity. The Tiger required extensive maintenance, broke down frequently, and guzzled fuel like there was no tomorrow. A critical flaw in a war where resources were already stretched thin. The Tiger's size and weight, which made it so imposing, were also its Achilles heel. Its heavy armor and powerful gun made it slow and cumbersome, limiting its mobility on the battlefield. Muddy terrain, steep hills, or icy conditions often rendered it useless. Worse still, the Tiger was notorious for breaking down in the field. Its engine was prone to overheating, and its tracks and transmission were so fragile that even a single mistake could leave it stranded. Repairing a Tiger was no easy task either, often requiring specialized crews and equipment that weren't always available. In stark contrast, the Soviet T-34 and American Sherman tanks were mass-produced, reliable, and easy to maintain. While individually no match for a Tiger, these tanks had the advantage of sheer numbers. For every Tiger on the battlefield, the Allies could field dozens of Shermans or T-34s. It didn't take long for these swarms of reliable, cost-effective tanks to overwhelm the Tigers through attrition alone. Ultimately, the Tiger's flaws were emblematic of the larger problems facing Nazi Germany, an over-reliance on grandiose projects that were unsustainable in the long run. While the Tiger I was undoubtedly a masterpiece of engineering, it was also a logistical and economic disaster. In many ways, it symbolized the hubris of the Nazi regime, impressive on the surface, but doomed to collapse under its own weight. The Tiger I may have been a fearsome sight on the battlefield, but beneath its imposing exterior lay a Pandora's box of problems. For starters, the Tiger's cost was astronomical. Each tank was priced at 250,000 Reichsmarks, the equivalent of roughly 2 Panzer IVs or several T-34s. In a war where quantity often triumphed over quality, this kind of expenditure was unsustainable. The resources funneled into Tiger production could have been used to manufacture simpler, more reliable tanks in greater numbers, giving the German army the numerical advantage they desperately needed. When there was the Tiger's reliability or lack thereof, its complex engineering, while impressive on paper, translated into a maintenance nightmare on the battlefield. The tank's massive weight, around 57 tons, made it prone to mechanical failures. The engine's overheated transmissions broke down, and tracks frequently needed repair. In muddy or icy conditions, the Tiger could become completely immobilized, rendering it useless. Even worse, field repairs were often impossible, requiring the tank to be transported back to the specialized workshops, an impractical solution in the heart of battle. The contrast with the Allied T-34 and Sherman tanks could not have been starker. The Soviet T-34 was robust, easy to produce, and designed for harsh conditions. The American Sherman, while less armored and armed than the Tiger, was reliable, maneuverable, and could be mass-produced at an incredible rate. These tanks weren't just weapons, they were logistical marvels that kept Allied forces moving forward. For every Tiger that rolled onto the battlefield, dozens of T-34s and Shermans were ready to meet it. In the end, the Tiger I was a microcosm of the Nazi regime itself, ambitious, impressive, but ultimately flawed. Its high cost, mechanical fragility, and inability to adapt to the realities of modern warfare contributed to its failure as a war-winning weapon. While it terrified Allied forces and earned its place in history, the Tiger's legacy is one of squandered potential and a stark reminder that practicality often outweighs grandeur. Tiger 131 isn't just a tank, it's a survivor and a storyteller. Captured in Tunisia in April 1943 during the Battle of Point 174, it became the first intact Tiger tank to fall into Allied hands. This was a monumental event. The British forces, including the Sherwood Foresters and 48th Royal Tank Regiment, managed to disable the Tiger with a lucky shot that jammed its turret. Abandoned by its crew, Tiger 131 was recovered from the battlefield and sent back to Britain as a prized war trophy. The tank's arrival in Britain caused quite a stir. It was inspected by none other than Winston Churchill and King George VI while still in Tunisia, highlighting its significance as a captured enemy weapon. Once in the UK, Tiger 131 was displayed on Horse Guards Parade in London, where it served as both a morale booster for the public and a symbol of Allied ingenuity. But this wasn't just a trophy, it was an intelligence goldmine. Tiger 131 underwent extensive evaluation at the School of Tank Technology. Engineers and military experts studied every inch of its design, uncovering the secrets of its formidable armor and powerful 80mm gun. These insights played a crucial role in shaping Allied tank design and tactics, ensuring that future tanks could counter the Tiger's strengths. In essence, Tiger 131 became a silent teacher, helping the Allies turn the tide of the war. Today, Tiger 131 is more than just a piece of history, it's a living artifact. It resides at the Tank Museum in Bovington, where it has been meticulously restored to running condition. As the only operational Tiger I in the world, it attracts thousands of visitors each year and continues to captivate audiences through its appearances in films like Fury and video games. Tiger 131's journey from the battlefield to the museum is a testament to its resilience and enduring significance, a reminder of the ingenuity and sacrifice that shaped the outcome of World War II. The capture of Tiger 131 at Point 174 is a tale of grit, ingenuity, and sheer bravery. On April 24, 1943, during the battle for the strategic hill in Tunisia, the Sherwood Foresters and 48th Royal Tank Regiment faced an uphill battle. Exhausted and under heavy fire, the British infantry had already taken the hill, only to brace for a ferocious German counterattack. Among the German forces was Tiger 131, a machine that symbolized both their engineering prowess and their intent to reclaim the position. As Tiger 131 advanced, its massive frame and powerful gun threatened to devastate the defenders. Yet the British soldiers refused to back down. The Foresters, using every weapon at their disposal, fired at the tank, including small arms and a captured German 75mm anti-tank gun. Meanwhile, 9 Churchill tanks from the 48th Royal Tank Regiment arrived just in time to lend support. From a ridge 500 yards behind the infantry, they opened fire on the advancing German tanks, adding their formidable 6-pounder guns to the fight. The battle culminated in a moment of both bravery and ingenuity. The Foresters managed to position the captured anti-tank gun and fired a critical shot at Tiger 131, jamming its turret. Simultaneously, fire from the Churchill tanks damaged the tank further, forcing its crew to abandon it. Whether the crew surrendered or were killed while fleeing remains a subject of debate, but the result was clear. Tiger 131 was captured largely intact, a monumental achievement in the heat of war. Recent research has shed new light on the event, challenging long-held assumptions, initially believed to have been captured near Jebel Jaffa. It is now confirmed that Tiger 131 was taken at point 174. This historical correction underscores the courage and resourcefulness of the troops who captured the tank. Their actions not only brought an end to Tiger 131's battlefield career, but also delivered an invaluable prize that would shape the future of armored warfare. The Tiger 131 story didn't end when it was captured. It only began a new chapter. Once a fearsome weapon of war, the tank has since become a global icon, bridging the past with the present. Its role in shaping military history and technology cannot be overstated. The evaluations conducted by British engineers after its capture revealed key insights into German tank design, influencing the development of future Allied tanks and strategies. In this way, Tiger 131 became an unlikely teacher, its lessons echoing through time. The tank's frame skyrocketed with its Hollywood debut in the 2014 film Fury, starring Brad Pitt. As the only operational Tiger 1 in the world, Tiger 131 was a natural choice for the role, bringing an unparalleled level of authenticity to the production. Its screen time may have been brief, but its impact was profound, introducing millions to the Tiger's fearsome reputation. This cinematic exposure was further amplified by its presence in video games like World of Tanks, where players could command a virtual version of the legendary vehicle. Beyond entertainment, Tiger 131 has become a centerpiece of the Tank Museum in Bovington, drawing thousands of visitors from around the world. Enthusiasts and history buffs flock to see it in action during events like Tiger Day, where the tank is run to the delight of spectators. Its ability to captivate audiences stems not just from its historical significance, but from the sheer power it exudes as a living, breathing piece of history. In its modern role, Tiger 131 transcends its origins as a weapon of war. It has become a symbol of engineering ingenuity, a testament to human resilience, and a gateway to understanding the complexities of World War II. From museum displays to online videos, it sparks fascination and keeps history alive for new generations, ensuring its legacy endures far beyond the battlefield. Maintaining a 7-year-old tank like Tiger 131 is no small feat. It's a balancing act between preserving its authenticity and ensuring it remains operational. The tank's unique status as the only running Tiger 1 in the world adds a layer of complexity to its upkeep. Every component from its engine to its tracks requires meticulous care. Spare parts are scarce, and there's no instruction manual for maintaining a relic of its magnitude. Each repair is a painstaking process, guided by expertise and trial and error. Running Tiger 131 is not just about keeping it functional, it's about sharing history. The tank's appearances during events like Tiger Day offers visitors a rare glimpse into the past, bringing the machine to life in a way static displays cannot. Yet every time it's driven, parts wear down, raising concerns about the long-term impact on its preservation. The museum faces a dilemma: how to honor the public's desire to see the tank in action without compromising its future. The Tiger 131's authenticity sets it apart from other surviving Tigers. Unlike restored replicas, it bears the scars of its final battle and retains many of its original components. These elements make it a priceless artifact, one that connects visitors to the human stories of those who fought in and against it. Preserving this authenticity means walking a fine line, sometimes choosing not to replace a worn part to keep the tank as original as possible. The challenge of preserving Tiger 131 is also a reflection of broader questions about historical artifacts. Should they be kept static to avoid further damage, or should they be used to educate and inspire? For the Tank Museum, the answer lies in striking a balance. By running Tiger 131 sparingly and maintaining it with the utmost care, they ensure that future generations can experience the awe of seeing this legendary tank in motion or respecting its historical significance. Tiger 131 is not just a machine, it's a rare bridge to the past, a symbol of resilience, and a living testament to history. From its battlefield dominance to its role as a modern icon, its story endures. Whether a masterpiece or a misstep, one thing's certain, the Tiger 1 left a mark on history that will never fade.